in and of itself. Whenever you can go up against a team like G2 and make it not a complete blowout, because we did see some blowouts in the earlier round throughout the day, they're making them try for it. They have to figure out nice angles. They have to, like, we're seeing very regularly Vac manage to put in some work and even go up against Mixwell as well. We're just running straight into this one as Loudly's got goals.
Okay, and actually, yeah, the paranoia comes out. Cho and Loudly will find one each, actually. And the trade comes through. Pat will find the third, and actually the fourth will fall. Artist finding that one with the classic, and David P's all the way through Tree. You can see now the nolpenki rotation. Destrian going to make it all the way up to Heaven, but got one player lurking all the way through mid. He's actually going to move towards top mid and maybe try and flank through A main here. So going to be a 2v3 retake situation here for nolpenki. Aldron got to spy out Destrian in Heaven there, and he does actually get tagged, so getting the information through. But,
it becomes a matter of, do you recommit based on an angle that you know that they're coming from? Looks like Destrian has decided to commit onto it. He has a little bit of support from the other side from his teammates. Does get spotted out. Very quickly goes down, and you can see Destrian realizes he's all by his lonesome. Pistol rounds used to go over towards nolpenki whenever we were back on the other map, but this time around, it's going to be G2 stepping up and taking the first round.
Yeah, again, and I like the aggression from nolpenki. You could argue maybe just falling apart at the execution point, but coming out on top was, and again, it's a stack from G2. There was 3 or 4 players there. I can't actually remember. So it's unfortunate the 2 guys run into a 2v4, but trades initially went in their favor. Tombizz actually made a really good point on the desk, and one thing I want to kind of elaborate on there is I think one of the keys to kind of countering some of this aggression from G2 is on the back of winning some of these 1v1s, because I think maybe a little gap in G2's playstyle is obviously if in the rare occasion any of these 5 guys do lose a 1v1, it's just kind of capitalizing on that as quickly as possible. As Pat's going to find an entry through into A main. Mixwell is actually going to come through and flank Loudly before he can find a second, but Destrian there with the jumping classic right click. Trades going back in favor of G2 again, leaving Destrian in a 1v2 situation. Spike is still in mid though. Ardis looks like he's already pre-aiming here, and there you go. We'll find the headshot with the Phantom. It's the second round for G2, Matt.
All right. Well, nolpenki, you managed to get out some work inside that last one. What do you have left in the tank, as it feels like G2 is just on a roll? Follow up what you were talking about. I 100% agree. We see G2 coming in with so much aggression on a regular basis. It just comes down to winning the gunfight whenever they're coming in so quickly in your face. Being able to hit one and maybe just inflict a little bit of damage onto the next one just opens up that much more of a door for your follow-up as your teammates reposition back in to go for the retake. Now, question comes into play. Can nolpenki do this? We've talked about the fact that we don't see this map a ton. It looks like Vac's got himself something to work with, trying to go for the peak angle back over towards it. Doesn't spot it out, narrowly misses him, but does hear the footsteps. Jumping away from this one, it's going to be Artist putting in some work onto it to force everybody on nolpenki to step back.
And David actually tried to force him with the Hunter's Fury from the back line, and again, Vac demonstrating why it's so hard to pin Jet down, using the tailwind and the updraft to escape that. Did actually get tagged with the owl drone as well, so he's done really well to get away from that. Loudly up in the box on Cubby. He might find Pat if he doesn't clear this, and actually Pat's going to pre-aim it, but Loudly still finds the headshot. Now,
good job on staying calm under pressure there as those bullets come through. Looks like he is aware that somebody's right next to him. Loudly getting a little bit more aggressive. Spots out another one, picks it up, gets himself 2 so far, but has to be careful as he steps back into this angle. He can find himself in the face of a ton of enemies, but he doesn't even care. Nice pickup coming up from Loudly to go ahead and get nolpenki on the round.
Yeah, nice little push there from Loudly. Again, the dark cover, one of the easier forms of smoke to push into. Piss gun barrel, unfortunately, giving away his position, but good work from Loudly nonetheless. I mean, I'm impressed so far, even from the, again, 2-1 scoreline, but nolpenki are looking like they want to take the fight to them. And again, on the desk, they said this, the scent is still kind of this wild card, unknown factor in terms of a map. Some teams can pull out some upsets here because, again, teams just aren't as well rehearsed on this as the other maps, this being the newest.
You can find a whole bunch of maybe sneaky little plays that nobody else is expecting. All comes down to homework. See, nothing coming out of the Raze as the bot comes rolling through. So Roomba's not going to put in any work yet. It's going to be Patatek that's leading out the charge, coming out from everybody on G2. Gonna be a couple of shots coming out from Cho Connect to at least force him out and away. Loudly, Star from last round's gonna go ahead and step back around onto it, see if maybe he can connect on anything, but the frag doesn't connect with too much.
David's gonna get himself all the way through mid. Loudly try and go. Pith actually waiting in the corner here. He's not gonna clear it, and actually Pith's gonna find the headshot, upgrade himself to a Vandal.
We have seen that so much today. People just don't check their corners and it comes back and bites them. Destron might find himself in a nice little interesting spot to do a little bit of revenge back onto it. Going to go ahead and throw up the wall, buy a little bit more space and time for his team to see if they go for the reposition onto it. Looks like they're not wanting to move off of A just quite yet, but all of the attack is coming back over towards B. Destron seems to be aware of this position as Boo now starting to get along the outside of it and might find himself with a little bit of vision. And yes, does connect back over towards Mixwell, trying to follow it up and does manage to pick up that attack as well.
Yeah, Boo finally 2 important kills there, shutting down the Bladestorm and Mixwell. And it's just going to be David P. I say he was on 20 HP, but obviously able to heal himself up. Spike is all the way over towards B main, so I think one of his teammates just pinged a weapon. So probably going to try and get over here and save it. And there you go. He's going to find the Vandal over outside A lobby. And just hold on to that one.
Pinky making up into a 2-2. G2 now having to figure out, okay, that one's not working so well for us, so let's see if we can find a different approach vector to take inside this one. Looks like a lot of people grouping back over towards what could potentially be a mid push or maybe a bait back over towards B, so we'll have to see how the lineup comes through on that. Already going ahead and throwing down the spike, making sure to leave that behind. Don't want to get it left in a vulnerable position, as it looks like a firm defensive line showing up as everybody is starting to commit back over towards the main. Or mid, sorry.
There's actually 3 players stacked up here. I'm liking this for nolpenki, looking like a little bit of defensive aggression coming out here. The recon bolt going to give him up, unfortunately. So that's unfortunate. But triple stack in the mid door, I like that. Going for some early pick in mid. Loudly going to find Pith over in alley here. And that's probably going to slow things down for G2. But actually, Mixwell's going to fall as well. So definitely going to slow things down here.
Spotted out the gun, goes for the shot off the side of it. David P doesn't connect, but back does. It's going to be a quick follow-up, though, as Artis and Patatek make their voices heard as they take down Loudly and Vac back-to-back off of this. Joe's now finding himself in a little bit of a difficult position as he's got 2 up in front of him and is revealed. Quickly just dropped off of that, so now Boo has to figure out how he's going to handle. He's the closest one back over towards A right now. Sage is going to be coming up back behind it. Looks like he's going to be playing right up in front of the smokes and finds himself with a closed door and no easy path to work with, so going to have to continue to rotate around.
Yeah, let's see. Destrian and Boo baiting the footsteps to look as if they're going back towards main, but are now stacked up in towards tree. Maybe going to try and push through glass here, but Ardis getting himself up into heaven. He's inside the dark cover as well, so might have a really good spot to play here. Boo's actually going to send the paranoia through. I think it's going to catch both of them, but recon bolt from Ardis might actually give the position away. Actually, Boo's going to swing wide on Pat and find him.
Nice play coming out from Boo, getting himself a little bit more position to work with. Artis still up in heaven, trying to get a little bit more vision, but not going to be able to get it in the end. So good play coming up from nolpenki, going to be able to take down the spike and move it up to it being in their advantage and actually being ahead of G2.
A really nice retake there. Again, Artis got himself into a really, really strong spot, and unfortunately, neither of the nolpenki players opted to push through glass or heaven. They just went through with the paranoia through the door. But nice retake nonetheless. So going to bring the scoreline to 3-2 in favor of nolpenki. Obviously, you could argue that this is one of the more again, I hate having this debate about whether a map is defensive or attacking sided, but this is arguably one of the ones that is more defensive sided.
Well, I just feel bad for poor Vac on nolpenki coming up here, trying to make a name for himself inside this one, and we have to have a conversation about cheaters right before you play and your name is Vac, but still managing to step up and perform for his team whenever it matters. So it looks like everybody on the side of G2 all clumped up, making the push back over towards A.
So you're just going to see a full eco rush through. Actually, Tailwind going to go through from Mixwell, but he's going to fall to Loudly. Recon Bolt actually going to give Pith 2 kills there. Boo will trade on to 1, but Neural Theft getting popped, and that's going to force Boo a little bit further back into heaven, but down to a 3v3 situation, and Vac has got his Bladestorm popped.
Coming in, we've got Boo up in heaven right now. Vac trying to get down that door so that way he can make the play off of it. Spike does go down while all of this is happening, so how's Vac going to opt into playing it? Looks like he's going to go in loud and fast. Well, keeps rotating back and forth between the two. You can see everybody on G2 in a firm defensive position right now, firmly aware that somebody is up inside of heaven. Looks like Vac's going to use this opportunity and the distraction to step back in. Goes for a spray back over towards it, but not going to connect. Good play coming out from David P, taking down one of them. Now the play is going to come back over towards it, and Destrian should be able to get the work off of it and take down the Spike.
Yeah, Destrian actually finding a perfect lineup there. David actually finding 2 from behind Generator. Destrian picking up all 3 kills on the retake there. Really good stuff from him.
Well, now that pushes us up to 4-2, and I'm willing to bet that there's a couple of confused G2 fans out there coming in with a lot of gusto inside of chat earlier, I saw, but nolpenki managing to make them play off the back foot for right now. You saw them having to go with a little bit of economy the round before this one, so curious to see what they bring out this time around, as it looks like opting back over towards a B, maybe a mid push. We'll have to see how this one goes. Looks like they're eyeing back over towards the mid section. I haven't seen a lot of work going back over towards B just yet from G2.
But again, we've got this triple stack over towards mid, and slow goes in. That allows Vac to push all the way up here, and Loudly's actually going to swing all the way out. Vac's going to find the headshot with the operator onto Pith at top mid, and that's going to give them the mid control. Destrian actually going to find Pat actually with a quick push through market. He's going to find a second onto Mixwell, and a third.
Destrian, I like what you're putting out right now. You can see G2's got to figure out what do we do in this situation. David P trying to figure out if maybe he can do a little bit of damage back over onto this one. Not playing for safety, instead looking like saying, hey, maybe we need to break their economy just a little bit. Goes for a peek on the outside, but it's going to be a flawless victory coming up. Back headshots him right in the face.
Yeah, really, really nice hold there. And that was a really, really quick push through market. Again, I guess both teams kind of crossing each other's paths there, because Loudly was pushed all the way out from short. So not entirely sure what happened there, but Destrian having another really nice round, actually holding the line at B site.
9-2-1, back behind that Loudly, having a pretty decent performance at 8-6-1. It's the Artist, who's been one of the star performers inside the last round. He's kind of leading the way at 6-5, so we're going to have to see. Maybe we see G2 played a little bit more cautious. We're talking about the fact that it was very important to win these 1v1 gunfights, and that seems like the secret to success that nolpenki is trying to capitalize off of.
And again, and this feels like a completely different approach to Split. They're actually, I mean, taking these aim battles and winning them. Paranoia actually going to go out from Boo there to kind of negate this push, but Mixwell going to dash all the way through. Actually trading 1-for-1 right now, so puts it down to a 4v4. Boo all the way into hell now. Cho had to fall back to lobby, so this is a bit of an interesting situation for nolpenki here.
Playing this one out, they're down inside the hell locations. Trying to see if they can get some more out of it, but Boo steps up, gets 2. Destrian managed to pick up 1 as well. Patatek does manage to take down Boo off of this one, but Patatek now looking back and forth, very aware that he is surrounded based off of his positioning. Looking back and forth, he knows it is probably a 1v3 at this point, saying if maybe he can at least get the spike off to get a little bit more economy to work with. But it should be noted, on the other side of this one, a lot of low health bars to work around. Not gonna matter though. Bad attack does get spotted out, and yet again, it's gonna be Vac connecting with the shot.
Yeah, I gotta say, this scoreline right now, kind of on the back of Vac and Destrian have a very good game. And again, Vac only on 6 kills, but I feel like he's getting a lot of value back on that operator. Destrian just having a really good start to this map, actually. Boo as well. So all around, I think actually a couple of nolpenki's players really stepping up here.
It does say something as well that Mixwell hasn't been able to get a lot out of this. You can see he's kind of the bottom fragger right now. I believe whenever we saw just a second ago, it was 1-8. I feel a lot of that is based off of Vac's positioning. It seems like we've been seeing a duel come out between the two of them very regularly. Vac aware, rotations coming around next to him, takes a shot, does connect with David P just narrowly. Steps back away from that one, and now you can see the clump that is G2 trying to figure out, okay, how do we make an aggressive play against a very deadly weapon up in front of us? Trying to get a little bit more information. They opt into speed, but it's not going to work. Quick exchange coming out. Artist now has a little bit of room to work with, but what can G2 do now?
Still found the kill on the Mixwell there. Pith actually going to find the second on the round here. They will manage to retrieve that operator. All the way back there. Pat's actually going to opt to TP with the spike all the way over to A site. So might be able to just get the spike down here. Cho still lurking in tree though. He's actually going to surprise Pat. You'll find that, but Spike will go down. We will find Ardis as well. So that puts, I was going to say, that puts Pith in a really tricky situation, but he's just going to run all the way up mid. And Cho will pick up another free kill after killing Pat on the plant.
All right. Well, we're going to be moving into 7-2. nolpenki's favor, so good performance coming out of them. And I gotta say, just like you were talking about beforehand, it's a lot about Vac. He's not getting a lot of kills out of his position. Well, we saw him get some in the last round, but it's more about just how much he stalls and how much effort he puts into making G2's life absolutely hell on every one of their pushes.
I mean, effectively getting 2 in the situation he did there with the tag coming out from the Owl drone and the 3-man push of Ardis, Pith, and Mixwell. He's done well to even get 2 out of that situation. Well, I think he got the first onto David in mid for free, but again, a 1-for-1 trade in a 1v3 is still good.
Well, it looks like everything's lining up back over towards A this time. Cho had himself a good round. You can see the cage getting dropped up in front of them. So now Cho trying to get a little bit more information based off of positioning, and it's a firm commitment based along the A rotation points. Everybody's just lining up, trying to see if they can find proper approach. It's the only one on the outside, and my lord, it is ultimates galore coming through here as Cho does find Mixwell, but it's going to be Pith that manages to take down Loudly. Quick follow-up, it's going to be Patatek picking up one, and Pith wants to go ahead and work with a little bit more information. They now have all the tools to manage to hold down this site, gets the spray back over, picks up one. So now it's starting to turn back over into a little bit of G2's favor, trying to go for the shot on the side of it. It's going to be Vac, blows himself the ultimate, trying to find something to work off of, but just can't get anything to connect.
Actually, Vac going to trade onto David there. The peek through glass, but I think right now the option to save is probably looking very, very tasty. Probably wants to keep hold of that operator. And again, money shouldn't really be an issue. It's just going to find Pat through the dark cover push. He's actually going to find Pith as well, but Ardis good for the trade. And G2 will put their 3rd round on the board now.
Might be a turning point for them to get something to work with. Looks like they're going to stock up on a couple of guns as we're moving into close to that halfway point here. So, Ardis now looking back over. Looks like Commit starting to make a push back over towards B, leaving the Spike back behind closer towards Spawn. And there we go. Looks like Cypher's going to run back and be the one to pick that one up.
And Vac actually getting himself up to 11-7 now after a couple of good rounds. You can see 7 rounds unanswered. And now G2 do put one back on the board now. You see a little bit of a stack towards B lobby here. Vac's actually going to peek this, and actually he's going to come out as well on the 1v1 with the operator. I think Vac just caught a little bit of a wall bang there, and Vac's shot did connect. So Loudly backing up through tree now. Ardis just going to push all the way up towards that, pick up a free kill. Maybe thinking about droning through this. I was going to say drowning through this dark cover, but droning through nonetheless.
I've been playing around back over next to the cage, and Vac, again, still holding down this position, trying to get as much time and space for his team to work with. Somebody's going to be stepping out, picks himself up, another one, and that's going to be Ardis. That's another big part of what we see G2 trying to bring towards the table. We're in fact that sees the utility being blown back over on the other side of it, going for a reposition. Boo, and everybody's just kind of holding on different defensive points right now, waiting to see how G2 wants to approach this, but they don't have much to work with. Is presently in a 2v4 situation. And right now, G2 just needs to win some shots, and they're not going to be able to get it as Destrin managed to pick up another one. And now it all falls back over towards Pith. He's slow creeping through and he's got to be careful. He's got somebody right next to him to his right. He's caught up looking that direction. But yeah, you can see Vac's aware. He's like, oh, you're going to step through? Never mind. Destrin's going to go ahead and pick it up. And that's going to be another round going back over towards nolpenki.
I mean, I touched on this before this map actually started, but nolpenki absolutely coming out on top of it. And then again, a lot of G2's playstyle relies on players winning individual 1v1s and then acting upon that. And right now, it just feels like nolpenki are coming out on top of it. We've not seen much trading coming out from G2, which we saw a very reliant playstyle on that on Split. And it doesn't seem like they're able to get that going again here on Ascent.
If you watch, it feels like whenever they lose one member, they very quickly halt the aggression that they were trying to bring forward, even though that they're running in a full clump of players all together, just trying to go for quick exchanges back and forth. Going to go ahead and take out the Roombas now. You can see, looks like we have an idea on what's going on, as it looks like A is going to be the target of all of the chaos. who's got himself a nice position off to the side. Loudly's going to spot out one as he comes floating in off of that. Jet trying to go for an uphill fight, but not going to be able to connect with it, as it's just going to be nolpenki taking this one with force.
Again, David P, the last man standing for G2 in a 1v5 situation. Can he ace with the Spectre? Place your bets in chat right now.
Answer's probably going to be no, but hey, can he sneak up behind him? Oh yeah. No, don't go for the fight. Try to conserve. Oh! I wanted it, David. I wanted it so badly for you, but doesn't manage to get away with it. See, that's why you turn around and you check the angles back behind you, guys.
Oh, good half. Nonetheless, from nolpenki. 9-3 scoreline, and this isn't where I imagined we'd be seeing G2 after the first half of Ascent. Again, the couple of other times I've seen them play this, and they've looked really, really dominant. And this just looks like nolpenki are winning the 1v1s, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, moving after what we saw inside the first map, G2 was a force to be reckoned with. But it seems like this may not be their map. We talked about the fact that it doesn't see a lot of play, so maybe it's just a little bit on their weaker side. Right now, it feels like nolpenki really want to push this into all 3 rounds, which we've been seeing a lot of 2-0s moving forward. Artist going with a couple of utility taps back over there. Does manage to pick up Cho off of it. Coming up back behind this, it's going to be Pith that manages to pick up 2 as well. There we go. That's the type of cheeky play that we want to see coming out from this one. Loud does manage to connect back over onto it as well as Boo. Pith finally manages to connect onto that shot, but it took him a little bit longer than one would expect. Boo just steps back around the corner, picks it up, and that's going to be a defender's side of victory.
Again, just a really good setup there from Artist. As soon as the audio cue comes through, pops both shock darts. Actually picks up the first kill for free before they've even had a chance to peek into sight. Really good stuff from them. A solid hold from G2, and hopefully that will be the momentum to get a couple of rounds on the board on this defensive half.
Well, by God, they need it. We saw them pick up the pistol round early, and that's where they got their earlier victories. But then it very quickly turned into the nolpenki show. So now we've seen a couple of little, I don't know, interesting plays coming out from the Sova and Artis. Now we're going to see if Pith manages to step up yet again. He was a big part of that last round victory for his team. So, quick pickup does come into play, turning this into a 4v5 as David's going to be holding the angle, spots out one, picks up one of them, gets a little bit of damage back on the other side of it. But now it's going to be Vac that's going to be stepping up and forward. Looks like he is going to get the heal to work with, I believe. And it looks like Patatek is just waiting on the other side of the shadows.
Let's see, the dark cover there covering. Mixwell did invest into the Marshal here. He's got the Ghost as well. Going to actually tailwind across. Loudly will fall to Pat elsewhere, but Vac will find the entry here. Ardis will respond with the shock dart. And actually, that second one is fantastic. That's going to do a lot of damage. Going to clean it up with the Ghost, though. Again, great play from Ardis there. He always looks so strong on the Sova every time I see him play. And as amazing as it is to watch him play Raze mid on split, which is, that's always the highlight of any Valorant game. But I just love the way he plays Sova.
Well, the question comes into play. We're seeing, I guess, not the strongest play coming out from Mixwell right now. nolpenki seems to have a good read on how he's playing this one through. A lot of their resources kind of funnel back in around that point of trying to shut him down. Whenever he kind of plays a little bit slower and they don't have the opportunity, it seems like that's where G2 is finding their openings.
Oh, this just finds a pick immediately off the rip. Vac will fall. Now, actually, the Boombot not going to spot Pat, so maybe he won't clear this, but you can see actually Loudly's going to swing on it. Pat's actually ready. Oh, I was going to say ready for the second, but went for the Shrouded Step instead. Now Boo going to find his way into tree. But Pith got the information on A main as well through the spy cam. Might pop this cage and actually swing on this, but elsewhere, Artist will find Destrian. Let's see what nolpenki can get going here.
Just playing back behind this. Looks like where the cage is at. Going to be a quick spin back around coming up from Boo to take down Pith. Now let's see. We're running into a 2v3 situation. The spike was set down way back over towards the mid area. Looks like they're going to retrieve that now. Might opt into making their push back off of it as Cypher does manage to pick that one up. So David P playing around point, seeing if maybe he can get a little bit more information as the slow creep comes in. It's going to be Boo and Cho trying to find some type of approach onto this, and it looks like G2 have a misread on this, and they're making a play back over towards B, and that could open up the potential for a play on A, as yes, looks like they managed to find a little bit of a foothold in it, but it's going to be Mixwell sneaking up back behind them. Should be able to hear the plant coming through. Got a little bit of assistance coming up from Heaven. A lot of damage coming through on top of it. Nice shot coming up from Artist to just double tap those one off. And there we go. Take down the spike, and that's going to be G2 picking up another one.
Artist finding two absolutely huge wall bangs there. One through to hell, and the second just as he tried to unpeak. Wow. Again, this guy making a case for being obviously the second inline superstar to this roster. The first one was just so clean.
I don't know if he's making a name for himself anymore. I think he's kind of made it. He has just been performing round after round. We've seen this guy, whenever it comes down to getting into these duels and getting into these firefights, he just seems to have this sixth sense on where everybody is positioned and just tears them apart. Other side of this, you can see that the lead that nolpenki had slowly starting to deteriorate as we've moved into a 9v6 position. So, see how we go. Pith is where the big push coming through. Doesn't manage to connect. Loudly manages to tap that one in. Patek very aware of how this push is going to be coming, so trying to prep for it. Throwing out a little bit of utility, going for a touch of a spray back over that direction, but not going to connect with a lot. Patek still just trying to hold this outside angle for it, but it looks like a firm, aggressive play is going to come in, and it's going to have to be a retake coming back in onto the other side of it. You can see pushing back around towards the defender's spawn location. Looks like the approach that they're going to go. Everybody opting up and around Heaven as it's going to be G2's approach angle. You can see the slow orb comes down, and that's going to buy a lot of time coming out from nolpenki. Going to get a little bit of utility, get some smokes down, get a little bit more control, but yet again, it's going to be Cho spotting one out. Patek manages to pop up with two. Loudly and Destron both go down. Mixwell finds the angle as well, and it is a very quick, dominant shift as G2 steps back over here, playing back around next to the spike, seeing if maybe going for a little bit of diffuse bait might draw attention, but Patek doesn't even care. Picks up Boo as well.
I see Cho in Heaven trying to wallbang with the Sheriff here, going to peek out to Mixwell, but the retake is good. And G2 will get the defuse there, bringing it to a 9-7. So really good start to the defensive half here. Again, bit of a throwaway round because of the economy, but fantastic stuff here. Pat finding two huge kills on the entry from Heaven. And after that, it was pretty much a wrap.
Oh, I love getting that like overhead view on how everybody was approaching into that one, so you can get a feel on how G2 was wanting to play that one. I thought them clumping up, all pushing along Heaven might be a downside for them, but they just won every single one of their shots as they came through over there. Dester and the rest of the crew now trying to figure out, all right, looks like we're going to be pushing back over towards B, or A, I'm sorry about that. A little bit of a, I guess it's peek back over towards mid, as Pith is going to be able to spot out one, doesn't connect with the dart, but now Pith very aware, at least one approaching back over towards this angle.
Yeah, and Artist actually going to drop from Heaven this time around. The pre-fire comes out, but nothing coming in. Showstopper's going to get invested. That's going to find Artist behind Generator, but Pith actually going to get spammed out with some utility. The paint shell going in there. Mixwell, unfortunately, not connecting with the first. And actually, Vac going for a really aggressive peek up on the box there towards Heaven. Unfortunately, not finding anything there. So, 2v5. Don't think the retake is likely here. Maybe just going to look to do some damage to the economy of nolpenki. David P doing a little crab walk in through mid. Maybe going to try and pick this one up in cubby, but looks like nolpenki are going to put their 10th round on the board.
Going to go ahead and go for a full save. So while we did see G2 start to step it up, there was a massive lead that nolpenki had, and so it's going to be their work to catch back up to them. And spots out one, stepping back down. Is he aware the second goes for the shots, doesn't connect with it, but at least manages to deny a little bit of economy off of it. Mixwell now going to look back over onto the angle and hoping the fact that time's going to run out to allow him to keep his high-cost weapon in his hands. And yes, looks like it's going to be the case.
So, again, an interesting position now. G2 got a couple of ultimates on the board, but it's only Omen, Cypher, and Sage, so not necessarily anything they can make a play off. And on the side of nolpenki, we do have Neural Theft and the teleport as well. Looks like we're going to get Mixwell boosted up in mid on top of the wall. Maybe look for an early pick here.
Time to mix things up.
Look at this read, though. This might be a pushback over towards B while defense is full on setup around mid and A. So nice quick bait and shift coming out off of that as
David
holding down the angle.
No.
Let's see how David makes a play off of this as it is very quick coming up from nolpenki. They step up and forward, rushing through, trying to make it back over towards B. So it is going to be a full retake that's going to have to fall onto G2's shoulders. Yeah,
and the big thing is here, they need to deal with Vac in lobby here. Vac holds the crucial angle here to hold on to site. You can see actually Pith on a long flank, so they might just need to buy time until he gets round. McBride's actually got a tailwind in here. Not going to find anything next to logs. But Vac still buying time there. You can see Pith still not made his way into B lobby yet, and these guys on site can't force anything yet. And actually, Vac's going to find the flank as well. That's huge from him. David's going to peek through and fall to him as well, but Artis and Pat pushing in now. The peek going to come out from Vac. McBride finds it. And actually, that's going to put him down to a 3v1 situation. Boo will finally fall in Boathouse. And G2 with a fantastic retake on B site there.
Well, showing up whenever it matters, stopping the return push back over for it, so that pushes up into a 10 to 8 score line, getting slowly and steadily closer as it's going to be G2 just trying to crawl back from the deficit. It feels like they're starting to get a better read and starting to play, I don't know, a little bit of a return game. And we're seeing nolpenki go for some very aggressive plays while they have a read on what's going inside the game and specifically strategy. G2 just manages to usurp it every once in a while just based off of gunplay.
And this kind of brute force from G2, I mean, it's fantastic to watch when it works, but like I said, in the first half, it wasn't really going in their favor. Pat's actually going to swing wide onto this. McBride will find the first blood again onto Vac, and actually Pat's going to find that headshot through the cage after it gets popped. That's going to put nolpenki straight into a 3v5 situation. Again, economy not great. Economy not great, so you can write off a couple of these kills, but again, nice setup from G2 nonetheless.
Yeah, G2 is just putting in work now. Just one member up and left. It looks like Pith is about to spot him out. Knows exactly where he is, so there is nowhere to run and hide anymore. Flawless victory coming back over towards G2 to put them within touching distance of 10 to 9 right now. So one more round's going to tie it up. G2 making sure to, I guess, put their fans in a little bit of a nervous state moving into this one, but feels like we're starting to see a lot more control come out of G2 players.
And again, I guess just on the back of I think that might be the fourth time around this half where G2 have drawn first blood. So absolutely capitalizing on their man advantage every single time. And that's when G2 are at their, I guess, hit their stride, so to say. Actually, Spycam's going to wrap on each other. Information going over to Pith, though. Pat and Pith are going to back up onto site here. Dark cover goes down. I don't think anyone's going to push through that, but Blade Storm was popped there. So interested to see if we have a play made off it.
Enough to at least make everybody a touch nervous based on how this is going. Push looks like it's coming back over towards A. Still 2 members on the defense playing back over towards mid and B respectively. That means the fact that it could be a disadvantaged fight depending on how we see the aggressive play come through this. So much patience coming into play right now as finally everybody's starting to run up and forward. It's all going to be on to Patatek, getting his shots back over towards it. Does manage to pick up Vac. Meanwhile, Pith on the other side of it managed to pick up Cho as well. And this is starting to turn really bad for nolpenki as they do manage to at least get inside here. But it's going to be Mixwell running in with fire, and Gusto tries to get the shots but doesn't get it. Destrin comes up big yet again, playing back down along the hell position, looking back over, trying to deny any form of information he can, using any utility to buy the space, but it's not going to matter in the end. Hey, it's going to be David P that does manage to take him down, but by God, moving into a tie, you can see that nolpenki managed to make him work for it.
That double kill with the Bucky from Destrium was actually nuts. Again, Mixwell doing Mixwell things, using the tailwind and the updraft to get up close and personal, but the last weapon you want to charge into is a Judge or a Bucky, and Destrium absolutely proving why.
Oh yeah, I've been on the receiving end of that a few times. It's just so fun to round that corner and suddenly just explode. All right, looks like B looks to be the target this time around. Let's see how G2 responds based off of this. Quick shift back over towards mid. A little bit of repositions coming in, but look at the full defensive line coming up from G2 right now and how they're opting into playing this, doing a little bit of a dance around, playing a little bit more aggressive, but Pith does get spotted out in that aggression.
Yeah, that's Cho winning 2 separate 1v1s there. G2 losing 2 early on. Neural Theft gets popped, and that's why you see this explosion onto a site. And actually, you see Cho push all the way up onto heaven behind the cage, but doesn't get any information over. It's not Artist we're watching, it is Cho. Mixwell tucked away in the back of heaven here. Looking for an entry on. And actually, I think, looking at the way David P and Artist are playing, actually Loudly going to win that one against Artist. We just jumped off camera there, but I thought Artist was going to have the drop on Loudly, but elsewhere, Mixwell does find Cho. Again, I just think this is trying to damage the economy as much as possible here and then save the weapons.
A little bit of a retreat. Back looks like he might have beat back over, but Mixwell says no over towards Boo, takes him down. A little bit baited here as reposition starting to come through. Going to go ahead and let the bomb go off. It's going to be the attackers walking away with that one, making us up into an 11-10 position. And by God, hypoc, this one is going to be super close.
I mean, it's going to be interesting here whether or not G2 go for one of their defensive executes. But, I mean, nolpenki really impressing me this time around. And again, I wasn't expecting a complete shutout, but I didn't think we'd be going the distance with this map, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of how you say, the analyst desk was talking about beforehand that nolpenki was wanting to make a statement, finally managing to make it up and compete against a team like G2, and I think that they have. They have been putting in a massive amount of work as Back is going to pick up Piff based off of that. You can see Loudly coming in. Got himself a little bit of a weapon there to work with. Not going to be able to get anything out of it as Pad Attack does spot him out. So let's see how Mixwell trying to step up. Gonna look wreck around through heaven, has to deal with the slow orb. Does manage to spot out one, doesn't connect with the shots onto it though. Reinforcement style starting to come out. Connects with the shot, finally back over towards Back to shut him down based off of that peak. Rez is gonna come back on the other side of it. Destrin goes after Vac inside of that one, but this is starting to turn a little bit sideways.
That was so unlucky there by Mixwell. He didn't get the re-kill on Vac after the revive came through. Spike obviously does go down here, so 3v4 situation. Pat will actually find Boo, and that puts it down to a 3v3, so definitely still doable here, but two players stacked over towards Ali is problematic for G2 because they can just play time on this. Artist will find Cho. Now you see the push coming through the slow orb, and actually they're going to get up close and personal. Vac comes all the way through. David finds the second through the dark cover. And that's actually a fantastic retake from G2 there to put us up to a tie game at 11-11.
All right, well, we're getting down into the tail end of this one, and you can see a little bit of the replay and these picks coming through. Mixwell managed to take down Vac off of that. Felt like it was a key point, as well as David P just managing to hold up. We saw a Jet just come charging into the site, doesn't even care based off of it. Now, nolpenki, you've been able to put up a huge fight so far. You can even call it valiant up into this point. What else do you have left to work with becomes the question. We're looking at a tied up game, and everything is starting to come down to these last couple of rounds. Whenever we start looking at economy and how this is all going to go, they have to get something out of this one, but it has been regularly nolpenki that gets the lead first, and it's G2 that's having to catch up inside of this map.
Little jump peek from David there, going to give him all the information he didn't want of how many players are close by. Mixwell's actually going to find Vac on the entry. He's going to find Loudly as well. Pat's actually coming in with the flank here. He's going to find Boo for free. And he's going to find a second probably. There you go. Destrium will fall and Pith will find Cho. And that is the fairly clinical hold there from G2. The speed on the reaction there. Again, the rotation coming in instantly. As soon as David P jumped the corner, he saw... I think he must have seen at least three of those guys charging up mid.
Well, we've been seeing a lot of 0-2s. nolpenki really just tried their hardest to get this one out. We're very close. Just one round still separating out as we do make our way back over towards match point this time. G2 on defense. Looks like they're eyeing back over towards mid, and based off the play and how it's going to come through. So everything comes back over towards nolpenki. They put up a good game, but they want this victory. Are they going to be able to find it? It looks like G2 has a read on what's going on. Quick spray just going back over towards it. Going to connect with a little bit of damage, but haven't been able to get the down yet. Loudly does connect back over towards Mixwell. So now David P is just trying to wall this out, trying to get a little bit more time for the rest of his team to reconnoiter and figure out how they want to respond to what's going on. Going for the res as well to get Mixwell back, something to work with. Nade's going to land right on top of him, but does manage to get away from it.
Well, the paint shell so close to re-killing Mixwell after the res there, but Boo will find Artist, and that's an entry onto the B side. Dark cover. Actually, it's a paranoia popping through from sight. Now you're going to see all five of nolpenki set up. Vac will find David P on the way in. Mixwell now trying to find something with the operator through market. I don't expect them to really give him any peeks or anything. He will actually find Destrian there trying to put a wall up over the defensive spawn. But G2 now in a 3v4 retake situation.
Match round. Going to be a quick exchange there. It looks like Mixwell has tools to work with. Goes for the inside of it. Doesn't connect. That is huge. It moves us back into a tied game.
That was really unfortunate there from the right click on the Blade Storm. Mixwell desperately looking for an entry there. We do go to overtime. As we know, obviously, we are into the new overtime rules, so it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out.
Nerves bound on both sides. With this victory, G2 will take the series. nolpenki wanting to get this one and make it a 1-1 position and make us go over towards another map. On the defensive side of it, it is going to be nolpenki trying to figure out how the approach is going to be coming out from G2. G2 trying to do a little bit of an extenuation round. Trying to figure out how they're going to make their approach back over towards it.
Cover going out.
See, pretty much default from both, except actually 3 players for nolpenki stacked up towards mid. Actually, Pat going to find Vac over in mid.
Stealing sight.
And that could be an entry up onto shore here. Paranoia goes through. And actually, they're going to...
one.
I was going to say, they're going to try and force the issue here, but Loudly will find 2 inside tree. And now the push over towards A, maybe not looking as wise anymore. Well, the information from the spy cam just being fed over to his teammates. Cho over in hell is telling them exactly what's going on. But Pitt's actually going to find a headshot there. That's a huge kill to get them control of A site.
Destrian's still up in top. We've seen this guy put out a ton of work. Has to be careful. Everybody on G2 down below him. Doesn't have a clean sight line just yet. Takes a couple of shots, hoping to pre-fire, connect with something. Doesn't find a target just yet. Gets a little bit of damage back onto the other side of it, but now you can see who's starting to step up, going for the retake as well. Spots out another one. Quick exchange back and forth, but that's going to be a G2 victory coming up really quick to move us into 13-12.
And actually, I mean, thinking about Ascent, that's a huge round to take in the first round of overtime. Obviously, the attacking one, they do have the option to kind of slow play this and wait for nolpenki to force the issue, but knowing G2, I'm not sure if that's going to be the go-to strat. You can see pretty much at a 2-1-2. Artist is still going to set up for this recon bolt through B lobby, try and get some information whether or not the quick push comes through there. We'll have to see what nolpenki off to do here.
Yeah, they got a lot out of it one time. Might as well keep on going, see if they can get something out of it yet again. Artist coming back up, seeing if maybe he can get back behind position. Everybody's holding down angles right now from G2, trying to see if they can spot out any form of movement. So utility starting to be put down. Mixwell playing in position, saying nobody's going to push around his location. Doesn't look like they are. Trying to get a little bit of a breach coming through as nolpenki starting to make the push back over towards A. It's going to be coming back behind it. It's going to be Patek coming up big. Go ahead and picking up one. It's going to be Mixwell as well. Pitt is stepping back away from the point. And now it is just one member up for nolpenki, and it's going to be Loudly. He has a hell of a job to cut out in front of him, trying to figure out how he's going to make some type of approach. Doesn't have too much to work with. You can see so much utility down in front of him. He's got smokes. He's got slow. He's trying to find some type of angle, trying to get the shot off the side. Does manage to connect onto one. It's going to take down Mixwell, but now they know exactly where he is. More utility being spent down up in front of him. Loudly trying to see if maybe he can find an angle. Does pick up a second one. Goes for the spray on to a third. He has now picked up 4 independent kills on this. He has the tools to work with. Going to go ahead and go for the ultimate, but doesn't manage to spot it out just quite yet. Loudly's trying to make a play off the side, but gets spotted out by Artist. Huge play. Connects with the shots, and that's going to give G2 the victory.